So I was out hiking a couple of weeks back near this stream I know pretty well, and it was just completely different. Where there used to be, like, fast-moving water and some willows, there was suddenly this wide, still pond.
Oh, wow. Not like a storm effect or anything.
No, nothing like that. And it's
Yeah.
definitely not, human construction. It was clearly animal work. It really hit me that some species don't just live somewhere.
Yeah.
They're actively designing the place.
That's a perfect way to put it. That's exactly what we're talking about today with ecosystem engineer.
Ecosystem engineers, okay.
Yeah, it's any species that creates or significantly modifies, maintains, even destroys a habitat. And by doing that, they have this huge impact on species richness and just the whole look of the landscape.
They're really the architects then, setting the stage for everyone else.
Exactly. They rewrite the rules.
Okay, so let's get into that definition a bit more. Our sources mentioned two main types based on how they engineer things.
Right. So first, you've got the allogenic engineers. Think of these as the ones who modify the environment by, like, mechanically changing materials around them, living or non-living stuff.
Okay, the movers and shakers.
Precisely. Beavers are the classic example, right? Cutting down trees, moving mud and logs to build dams, changing water flow.
Right, the ones who built my new pond, probably.
Very likely. Or think about woodpeckers. They drill holes in trees. Those holes don't just disappear. Other birds, mammals, even insects move in later. The woodpecker physically altered the tree structure.
Gotcha, so they're like the construction crew. What's the other type then? Autogenic?
Autogenic engineers, yeah. These are different. They modify the environment simply by modifying themselves, by their own growth.
How does that work?
Well, think of a big mature tree. As it grows, its trunk, its branches, its bark, that becomes the habitat. It creates the structure for insects, fungi, birds' nests.
Ah, okay. The organism is the structure.
Exactly. Or, in the ocean, kelp. Giant kelp just grows, and by growing, it builds the entire physical framework for a kelp forest ecosystem. It is the forest structure.
Okay, that makes sense. But hang on. Doesn't this sound a bit like keystone species? We've talked about them before, like wolves changing rivers. What's the difference here?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. Keystone species are usually defined by their trophic impact, their feeding relationships, controlling populations below them.
Right, eating patterns.
Exactly. Ecosystem engineers, though, are defined by their ability to change the physical environment, the habitat structure itself. It's about resource availability and the physical shape of the place, not necessarily just who eats whom.
So the beaver isn't just eating willow, it's fundamentally changing the water dynamics.
Precisely. Their dams aren't just ponds, they change the whole channel shape, the geomorphology. They turn streams into these complex wetlands, which actually boosts biodiversity across the whole landscape. There's even a rare butterfly, the St. Francis' satyr, that depends on these beaver-created wetlands.
Wow. Okay, and it's not just beavers on land, right? Prairie dogs.
Oh, absolutely. Prairie dogs are amazing allogenic engineers. Their burrow systems are huge. They constantly churn the soil, which helps with aeration and water infiltration, reduces erosion.
And creates homes for others.
Tons of others. Their tunnels are like underground highways for reptiles, insects, other small mammals. Really ups the species count down there.
Let's talk scale, though. Elephants. They must have a massive impact.
Huge. In African savannas, they're critical engineers. They knock down trees when they feed, dig for water.
Yeah.
This actually keeps the savanna open. It prevents it from turning into dense woodland.
So they maintain the grassland habitat for other grazers.
Exactly. They are landscape managers, essentially. They keep the whole system in balance.
It's incredible how these natural systems build and modify themselves so effectively. Getting that kind of complex system modification right in our world, especially with tech and data, often needs smart tools. Which actually brings me to our sponsor for this deep dive, Embersilk. If you need help with complex systems like AI training, automation, software development, or figuring out where AI agents could really make an impact for your business, or even just your personal projects, check them out. They help uncover those high-impact areas. You can find them at embersilk.com.
That's a good link. And speaking of complex systems, let's dive underwater. Ecosystem engineers aren't just terrestrial.
Right, coral reefs.
Definitely. Scleractinian corals, the hard corals, they're autogenic engineers. They literally build the reef framework by secreting their calcium carbonate skeletons.
They grow their own habitat.
And those reefs support some of the highest biodiversity on the planet. It's incredible.
Okay, but what about this whale pump idea? That sounds different. Not exactly building structure.
It is different. It's about nutrient cycling on a massive scale. Whales often feed deep down, then they come up to the surface to breathe and, well, poop.
Okay. So whale poop is engineering.
In a way, yes. They release these nutrient-rich plumes, often full of iron, right in the sunlit surface waters where phytoplankton live. This fertilizes the phytoplankton, boosting their growth.
And phytoplankton are the base of the food web, and they absorb CO2.
Exactly. So the whale pump acts as a biological pump, moving nutrients and potentially impacting carbon sequestration, which has implications for the global climate. It's a really active area of research.
It's kind of mind-blowing thinking about whale migration patterns as influencing climate.
It shows how interconnected everything is. And, well, if we're talking about large-scale impact,
We have to mention ourselves.
humans.
We are, without doubt, the most powerful ecosystem engineers on the planet right now. Think about massive dams, agriculture changing entire landscapes, cities.
We do both types, right? Moving Earth like an allogenic engineer and building structures like an autogenic one. Absolutely. We reshape things on a planetary scale profoundly.
So wrapping this up, if these species are nature's architects, really understanding how and why they engineer their environments seems crucial, especially for things like ecological restoration.
It really is. It suggests maybe the first step isn't always for us to jump in and start building, but maybe to identify and support the natural engineers already there doing the work.
Let nature's architects lead the way, perhaps. It challenges you to look around your own environment differently.
Definitely. Pay attention to the structure, not just the inhabitants.
So a final thought for you listening. What ecosystem engineer might be shaping the park down the street or the river nearby right now? Think about it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into nature's architects, please subscribe to the show. Hey, and if you can, leave us a 5-star review. It really does help get the word out. Thanks for tuning in.